When Mark Zuckerberg co-founded Facebook, he didn't just build a social network, he built a vision, a clear, unshakable direction that turned an idea into one of the most impactful companies in the world. As he navigated the uncharted waters of entrepreneurship, he discovered that success isn't defined by a single breakthrough, but by the ability to make constant, deliberate decisions with clarity. In The Way Billionaires Dress, Why Wearing the Same Clothes Made Me Rich, Mark shares his personal insights into what it takes to create lasting success. From the early days in his dorm room to leading a global tech empire, his journey has been defined by a strong sense of purpose and the discipline to stay true to that purpose. This book is an exploration of the principles that helped him and other billionaires navigate the challenges, setbacks, and decisions that shaped their paths. Through this lens, readers will learn not just how to build a business, but how to develop the clarity of vision that drives every great achievement. Whether you're a budding entrepreneur or a seasoned leader, The Way Billionaires Dress offers the tools to cut through the noise, make confident decisions, and carve out your own path to success. Mark's journey shows that with the right mindset and direction, anyone can achieve extraordinary results. Let this book be your compass as you chart your own course toward success. Chapter 1. Overcoming Noise. From the moment people wake up, their senses are bombarded. Smartphone notifications, social media updates, endless pings from emails and messages. It's a constant stream of information, demands, and distractions. As the CEO of Meta, Mark Zuckerberg has witnessed this firsthand. In today's world, it's easy to get lost in the noise. And it's not just about the auditory distractions, but the metaphorical noise, the overwhelming influx of information that defines daily life. People live in a world where their attention is constantly divided. There's always something vying for focus, pulling energy, or demanding action. From the urge to scroll through social media endlessly to the pressure to keep up with every new trend, it's no wonder so many feel stretched thin. Their to-do lists grow longer, and societal expectations push them to achieve more, consume more, and compare themselves to others, especially online. Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, now Meta, has built an empire that thrives on constant connection and engagement. But even he acknowledges how overwhelming the constant flow of information can become. The same platforms created to bring people closer together have, in many ways, contributed to the noise in their lives. People have become consumers of endless content, which pulls them away from their most important relationships and tasks. This noise comes in many forms. It could be that email ping interrupting a family dinner, or the nagging feeling that they're not doing enough or being enough. The platforms that were meant to connect people can often drown out real connections, especially with the people right in front of them. The noise isn't just from technology, it's also from society. The pressure to look a certain way, to achieve a certain level of success, or to live up to an idealized version of life that isn't always attainable. External pressures can lead people to chase after goals that don't align with what truly matters to them. Another key source of noise is overcommitment. Many fall into the trap of multitasking, juggling countless things at once. But this approach doesn't make them more productive. It spreads them thin. Trying to keep up with everything, feeling that if they're not doing something every second, they're falling behind, is common. However, constantly switching from task to task doesn't just lower productivity. It raises stress levels. The reality is that this noise, the constant distraction, affects more than just productivity. It clouds people's ability to live fully, their ability to focus on what matters, form meaningful relationships, engage in deep, focused work, and be present for things that bring joy is diminished. This noise pulls them away from what really counts. Mark Zuckerberg's experience with digital distractions reflects this broader challenge. While social media connects people, it also pulls them into mindless scrolling, comparisons, and stress. Emails, meant to streamline communication, flood inboxes, demanding constant attention. The very technologies built to simplify life often complicate it instead. So, how can people begin to address the noise? It starts with awareness. They need to recognize where the noise is coming from and how it impacts them. For many, this might mean acknowledging how much time is lost to digital distractions. From there, they can begin making conscious choices, setting boundaries, saying no to things that don't align with their values, and carving out time for focused work. This isn't about deprivation. It's about making space for what really matters. As people reduce the noise, they often experience less stress and more peace. The pressure to keep up begins to fade, and with it comes a sense of freedom. They regain control over their lives, and that control brings clarity and fulfillment. Minimalism offers a path to navigate this noise. But it's not just about having fewer things or decluttering. It's about adopting a mindset shift. Minimalism is about clearing away the excess to focus on what truly matters. It's about consciously deciding what deserves attention and what doesn't. In fact, less can lead to more clarity, more fulfillment, and more freedom. The journey to overcoming the noise begins with awareness, but it's not just about recognizing the distractions. It's about making intentional choices. Building habits that prevent overcommitment and support a more focused life is essential. By prioritizing well-being and resisting the urge to do more for the sake of doing more, people can focus on the essentials. Over time, as they remove the excess, the mental fog clears, and they engage more deeply with their work, relationships, and personal growth. The reward is a life lived with purpose. When people stop reacting to everything around them and focus on what truly matters, they align their actions with their values. This creates space to pursue passions, grow as individuals, and build deeper relationships. In a world that constantly pushes people to do more, minimalism offers the freedom to do less, but do it better. In the next chapter, people will explore how to define what's truly essential and how understanding core values can help differentiate between what's important and what's just noise. This step will lay the foundation for everything else, and it's the key to creating a life aligned with purpose. And before we continue, if you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications for more tips on living intentionally. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with friends. It really helps the channel grow. Thanks for your support. Chapter 2. Defining Essentials. Mark Zuckerberg knows all too well the overwhelming feeling of being pulled in countless directions. As a young entrepreneur, he was constantly surrounded by decisions, opportunities, and challenges, each demanding his attention. It wasn't always easy to know which paths were the right ones, or which choices truly aligned with his deepest values and desires. But through his journey, Mark has learned one powerful lesson. Defining what's truly essential is a skill that can radically reshape how we approach life. What does it mean to define essentials? At first, it might seem simple, just the things we can't live without. But Mark's experience shows that the process goes much deeper than that. It's not just about basic needs, but about uncovering what brings joy, fulfillment, and true purpose. When we clearly understand what matters most, we gain a tool for navigating life's many choices. It's like having a compass that always points to true north, helping us stay on track even when the road ahead seems unclear. Mark remembers those rare moments in his life when he felt completely aligned with his purpose. Maybe it was the thrill of seeing Facebook connect people around the world, or the deep sense of fulfillment when solving a problem that truly mattered. Those were the moments that reminded him of what he values most. Imagine if you could design more of those moments in your life, if you could align your daily actions with what brings you true meaning. That's the power of defining your essentials. But where do you begin? For Mark, it starts with understanding your personal values, the beliefs that guide your decisions and shape how you see the world. These values are often buried beneath the surface, hidden by society's expectations and fleeting desires. To uncover them, we must ask ourselves tough questions. What truly matters to you? What principles would you fight for even when it's hard? When do you lose track of time because you're so engrossed in something? These questions help cut through the noise and reveal what's essential to your well-being. The challenge, of course, is that our actions don't always match up with our stated values. It's easy to say we value family, but how often do we prioritize work over spending time with loved ones? Mark faced this conflict too, balancing the intense demands of building Facebook with his personal life. Recognizing these discrepancies is the first step toward bringing our actions into alignment with our true values. One of the hardest parts of this journey is distinguishing between what we really need and what we simply want. In a world driven by consumerism, it's easy to get caught up in the latest gadgets, trends, or luxuries. But Mark learned that true fulfillment doesn't come from acquiring things, it comes from nurturing the things that matter most, like meaningful relationships, personal growth, and a sense of purpose. When we focus on these essentials, we stop wasting time and energy chasing after things that ultimately leave us feeling empty. So how do we begin this process? Mark found that journaling is a powerful tool. By taking the time to reflect on his emotions, experiences, and aspirations, he was able to identify patterns and themes that pointed toward his core values. Some questions that helped him in this process included: when do I feel most energized and alive? What would I regret not doing if my life ended tomorrow? What moments make me feel proud of who I am? Another method that Mark swears by is the 5 whys technique. It's simple, but profound. If you find yourself wanting something, ask why. If your answer is about money, ask why that matters. If it's about security, ask why again. By the time you get to the 5th why, you'll often uncover a deeper core value that drives your desire. As you gain clarity on your values and essentials, articulating them in a personal mission statement can be a game changer. This statement is your North Star, helping you stay aligned with your purpose and guiding your decisions. Mark's mission statement evolved over time as he gained new insights into what mattered most to him. But the key is that it served as a constant reminder of his priorities, especially when the choices were tough. Once you identify what's essential, the next step is letting go of what doesn't serve you. This can be challenging, especially when you've become attached to certain habits, possessions, or commitments. But Mark learned that saying no to non-essentials is really saying yes to the things that truly matter. It takes courage to let go of the familiar, but the freedom it brings is priceless. Start small. Mark suggests focusing on one area of your life where you can align more closely with your values. Maybe it's decluttering your physical space, cutting back on an activity that doesn't bring joy, or setting boundaries with others. Over time, these small changes add up and build momentum. Daily reflection also plays a key role. Mark has made it a habit to start or end his day by reviewing his mission statement or journaling about moments when he felt most aligned with his values. These regular check-ins help keep his essentials at the forefront of his mind, guiding his decisions day after day. Remember, this is a continuous process. What feels essential today may change tomorrow as you grow and evolve. Mark knows this firsthand. As life presents new challenges and opportunities, your priorities will shift, and that's okay. The key is to stay open to the journey of self-discovery and embrace the changes that come with it. The rewards of this process are immense. As you define your essentials, you gain a greater sense of self-awareness and clarity. You'll be more equipped to make decisions that align with who you truly are, and you'll experience a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. You'll also find yourself saying no more often to things that don't serve your purpose, freeing up time and energy for what really matters. Ultimately, the goal is to live a life of purpose and authenticity. When your actions align with your values, every aspect of your life becomes more meaningful. It's no longer about meeting external expectations or going through the motions. You're actively creating a life that reflects your true self. Of course, the journey isn't without its challenges. You might struggle to identify your true values, especially if you've spent years following the expectations of others. Mark found that seeking feedback from trusted friends or family members can provide valuable insights. They might see things you've overlooked, patterns of behavior or sources of joy that you haven't yet recognized. Letting go of long-held wants can also be difficult, but the practice of gradual reduction can help. Instead of trying to eliminate everything non-essential at once, start by scaling back slowly. This gives you time to adjust and find new, more meaningful activities to fill the space. So, are you ready to begin your own journey of defining essentials? It doesn't have to be overwhelming. Break it down into manageable steps and start with one core value. Over time, those small steps will lead to meaningful change. In the next chapter, Mark will explore a concept that might seem contradictory at first: how letting go of things can actually lead to gaining more of what truly matters. Are you curious about the unexpected freedom that comes from embracing less? Stay tuned. Chapter 3. Clearing Clutter. Mark Zuckerberg has often reflected on the overwhelming nature of modern life, the constant influx of information, tasks, and possessions that seem to take up all available space. As someone who has spent his career in the fast-paced tech world, he knows firsthand how clutter, whether digital or physical, can weigh on both the mind and body. What if the path to a more fulfilling life doesn't involve adding more to our already full plates, but rather thoughtfully reducing what we already have? When Zuckerberg talks about clearing clutter, he's not just referring to the occasional tidying session or a weekend spent organizing. True decluttering goes much deeper. It's about creating room, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. If you've ever entered a clean, organized space and felt an immediate sense of relief, you know exactly what he's talking about. That calming feeling isn't temporary. It can profoundly impact your well-being. Why does clearing clutter matter? It's simple. When we remove excess, we often see stress and anxiety levels decrease. Picture this: you clear out old possessions, streamline your schedule, and suddenly a weight lifts from your shoulders. And the benefits? More focus, more productivity, and more energy to devote to the things that truly matter. The link between clutter and stress is well documented. Research shows that clutter can increase cortisol levels, the hormone tied to stress. Think about the last time you were surrounded by piles of unorganized work or items you didn't need. Each of those possessions or unfinished tasks demands a small amount of mental energy. Over time, these demands add up, leading to mental fatigue and a sense of being overwhelmed. But it's not just about clearing physical space. Emotional attachments to objects can make the process harder. Many of us hold on to items for sentimental reasons, things that remind us of past experiences or relationships. Zuckerberg understands that letting go of these things isn't always easy, but it's an important part of clearing space for growth and moving forward. The process of clearing clutter doesn't have to be daunting. Zuckerberg suggests a manageable approach. Tackle one area at a time. Start small, maybe with a drawer or a single room. As you go through your things, ask yourself, does this item add value to my life? If it doesn't, maybe it's time to part with it. But remember, the goal isn't to strip everything away. It's about curating an environment that supports your values and well-being. Keep the items that bring joy, and let go of the ones that don't. One rule that Zuckerberg recommends is the one-in, one-out approach. For every new thing that enters your space, remove something else. This simple habit keeps clutter at bay and helps prevent the reaccumulation of things you don't need. Workspaces are another area where clearing clutter can make a huge difference. If you've ever sat at a cluttered desk, you know it can be hard to focus. Zuckerberg suggests organizing your workspace to make it as efficient as possible. By keeping only what's necessary and optimizing the layout for focus and comfort, you create an environment where you can thrive. In today's digital age, clutter isn't just a physical problem. Your email inbox, phone apps, and digital files can all become overwhelming. Zuckerberg recommends starting with your email inbox. Unsubscribe from the junk, organize your messages, and aim for inbox zero. It might sound like a challenge, but maintaining a clean inbox can reduce stress and improve productivity. The same goes for your digital files. Sort through them, archive what you don't need, and delete what's irrelevant. You'll be amazed at how much lighter you feel once the digital clutter is gone. But what about your digital consumption? In a world of constant notifications and social media updates, it's easy to feel constantly distracted. Zuckerberg suggests setting boundaries for digital consumption. Limit your social media use, designate certain hours for checking the news, and make space for focused work. Once you've cleared the clutter, the next challenge is to maintain it. Zuckerberg stresses the importance of routines. Spend a few minutes each day tidying up, and schedule a weekly session to ensure things stay in order. It's about creating habits that keep the clutter from creeping back in. And when it comes to new items, whether they're physical or digital, be mindful of what you let into your life. Does it truly serve a purpose? Does it align with your goals? Zuckerberg also suggests creating a decluttering checklist to stay on track. It's a roadmap that helps you manage your physical and digital spaces. You can even take it a step further and embark on a 30-day minimalism challenge. Each day, tackle one task or simplify one area of your life. It's a great way to build momentum and keep the process manageable. As you continue on this journey, you'll start to notice changes. Not only will your space become tidier, but your mind will feel clearer. You'll have more time and energy for the things that matter most, and you'll find it easier to stay focused. The ultimate goal of clearing clutter is to create a life that reflects your values. A life where you're surrounded only by what truly matters to you. Let's be clear. The process won't always be easy. The emotional attachment to possessions, the initial overwhelm of starting, and the temptation to revert back to old habits can all pose challenges. But Zuckerberg believes that by starting small and taking it one step at a time, anyone can achieve lasting change. And when it comes to sentimental items, remember, it's not about losing memories. It's about freeing yourself from the physical objects that hold you back. So, as you move forward with your decluttering journey, think about the space you want to create. Imagine what it would feel like to live in an environment that supports your goals, your health, and your happiness. By reducing the noise, both physical and mental, you create room for what truly matters. And when you do, you'll be surprised by the positive transformation that follows. But what's next? Once you've cleared the clutter from your physical and digital spaces, there's one more place to turn your attention: your mind. Are you ready to explore how to declutter your thoughts and focus on what's truly important? The next chapter will dive into this crucial step, one that could have the greatest impact on your life yet. Chapter 4. Simplifying time. Mark Zuckerberg has always been aware that time is our most valuable resource. It's a universal truth. Each of us is given the same 24 hours in a day. But even with all this time, how often do we feel like we don't have enough? We rush from one task to another, always behind, never quite catching up. What if the answer isn't about trying to squeeze more activities into our day, but, instead, changing the way we approach time itself? The idea of simplifying time might seem strange at first. After all, time moves forward at the same pace, no matter what we do. But simplifying time isn't about changing time. It's about changing how we spend it. By focusing on the things that matter most, we can create a sense of spaciousness in our lives. Imagine how much of your day truly aligns with your core values. How much of it is spent on tasks that feel urgent but don't actually contribute to your long-term goals? Simplifying time is about cutting through the noise and creating a balance between your time and your priorities. It's about being intentional. So why does simplifying time matter so much? First, it allows us to be more productive. By focusing on high-impact activities, we accomplish more in less time. It also helps to lower the stress that comes from constantly feeling rushed. We've all felt that tight grip of time pressure, and it's exhausting. Simplifying our approach can create more room to breathe, leaving us less frazzled and more focused. But perhaps the most important benefit of simplifying time is that it helps us make more space for what truly matters. Whether it's spending time with loved ones, working on personal projects, or even simply taking a break. The more intentional we are with our time, the more satisfied we become. To grasp the value of simplifying time, it's crucial to recognize its finite nature. Time is unlike money or material things. Once it's gone, it's gone. Each day we get 24 hours. Nothing more, nothing less. How we spend those hours can completely shape the quality of our lives. When we see time as a precious, limited resource, it changes how we use it. Every moment counts. So, where are we spending it? Is it on things that truly matter, or on distractions that add little value? The next step in simplifying time is recognizing time wasters. These are the activities that drain our hours without offering real rewards. Common culprits include endless social media scrolling, mindless web browsing, or even getting involved in office gossip. But time wasters can be sneaky. Sometimes it's agreeing to attend meetings that don't need your input, or saying yes to things out of obligation rather than genuine interest. Want to know where your time really goes? Try a time audit. For a week or two, track everything you do. Be honest with yourself. The goal isn't to judge, but to collect data. At the end of this period, review how much time you've spent on tasks that don't align with your values. You might be surprised at how much time slips away unnoticed. Once you know where your time is going, the next step is to prioritize the activities that matter most. One tool Mark finds helpful is the Eisenhower Matrix, named after President Dwight D. Eisenhower. This framework helps you categorize tasks into 4 groups: urgent and important. These need your immediate attention. Important, but not urgent. These contribute to long-term goals, so schedule them. Urgent, but not important. Delegate these tasks if possible. Neither urgent nor important. Eliminate these completely. By seeing your tasks laid out this way, you'll get a clearer sense of what truly deserves your time and attention. The hardest part? Learning to say no. Many of us fear disappointing others or missing out on opportunities, so we say yes to everything. But every yes means saying no to something else, often something more meaningful. Mark understands that setting boundaries is essential. Saying no is about honoring your time and your priorities. And with practice, you will find that people respect your boundaries, and you'll feel empowered in taking control of your schedule. It's also crucial to create a balanced schedule. This doesn't mean planning every single minute of your day. Simplifying time includes making space for rest, spontaneity, and the unexpected. When you build your schedule, remember to balance work with downtime. It's not wasted time. It's necessary for recharging your energy and well-being. There are several effective time management techniques that can help you stay on track. For example, the Pomodoro technique involves working in focused 25-minute bursts, followed by short breaks. Or try time blocking, where you dedicate specific blocks of time to certain tasks. The key is to find a method that helps you stay focused on what matters most, while allowing flexibility for life's surprises. If you really want to optimize your time, consider a workshop to help you redesign your schedule. Spend a few hours looking over your current routine and adjust it according to your priorities. Block out time for high-value tasks first, and then fit in other necessary activities around them. Over time, as you start simplifying your approach, you'll notice big changes. First, you'll have a clearer understanding of where your time is going and whether it aligns with your goals. With practice, you'll see an increase in productivity and overall satisfaction. The more you focus on high-value activities, the more progress you'll make toward your goals, and the more fulfilled you'll feel each day. Mastering time doesn't mean controlling it. Instead, it's about having a harmonious relationship with it. When you truly simplify your time, You can navigate life with a sense of balance, purpose, and direction. However, simplifying time isn't always easy. Saying no can be tough. But with practice, it gets easier. Start by turning down small requests that don't align with your values. Over time, it'll become second nature, and you'll feel more empowered to protect your time. Another challenge is overscheduling. The excitement of making the most of every moment can lead us to pack our days too full. This backfires when we don't leave room for rest or flexibility. The solution? Be realistic. Make sure to schedule buffer time for unexpected events and personal breaks. A simplified schedule doesn't mean a packed schedule. It's about focusing on what's truly important while maintaining balance. You might also slip back into old time-wasting habits. That's normal. But the key is to regularly reassess how you're spending your time. Are you still focusing on high-value activities, or are distractions creeping back in? Regular check-ins will keep you on track and ensure that your time remains aligned with your goals. Now, take a moment and imagine what life could look like if you truly simplified your time. Picture moving through each day with purpose, focusing only on what matters, and feeling balanced and fulfilled. Remember, simplifying time isn't about cramming more into your schedule. It's about aligning your actions with your values. It's about creating space in your life for what's most important. And as you do, you might just realize you have more time than you ever imagined. Chapter 5. Meaningful Relationships. Mark Zuckerberg knows that, as we journey through life, we weave a complex tapestry of connections with those around us. These connections, our relationships, form the very fabric of our human experience. Yet, in today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, it's all too easy to find ourselves surrounded by countless superficial interactions. Paradoxically, these interactions often leave us feeling more isolated than ever. So, what if the key to true fulfillment doesn't lie in expanding our social circles, but in deepening the connections we already have? At first glance, the concept of meaningful relationships might seem simple. After all, we all have people in our lives we consider important: family, friends, colleagues. But Mark has come to realize that cultivating meaningful relationships goes far beyond just maintaining a list of contacts or accumulating followers on social media. Think about it. When was the last time you felt truly seen and understood by another person? Maybe it was during a heartfelt conversation with a close friend, or a moment of unexpected kindness from a colleague. These are the moments that form the building blocks of meaningful relationships. They're the connections that nourish our souls and provide us with a sense of belonging in an often chaotic world. Mark has experienced this firsthand and knows how powerful these deep connections can be. Why is it so important to cultivate these deep, meaningful relationships? The answer lies in their ability to provide us with a powerful buffer against life's stresses and challenges. When we surround ourselves with supportive, positive relationships, we create a network we can lean on in times of need. These connections don't just make us feel good. They are essential to our emotional health and well-being. In fact, they contribute significantly to our overall sense of fulfillment and happiness. They create opportunities for growth, shared experiences, and the kind of deep, authentic interactions that make life rich and rewarding. One of the most compelling reasons to focus on meaningful relationships is their role in reducing the stress caused by toxic or draining connections. Mark has seen firsthand how prioritizing quality over quantity in relationships naturally helps us distance ourselves from interactions that deplete our energy or harm our well-being. To understand the power of meaningful relationships, it's essential to assess the connections we currently have. Take a moment to reflect. How do your relationships make you feel? Are they supportive or draining? Supportive relationships leave us feeling energized, understood, and valued. These are the connections where we can truly be ourselves, share our joys and struggles without fear of judgment. Toxic relationships, on the other hand, often leave us feeling drained, anxious, or inadequate. Mark himself has learned to be mindful of these dynamics over the years, and this self-awareness has helped him build stronger, more authentic connections. The impact of relationships on well-being is undeniable. Research shows that positive, supportive relationships are linked to better mental and physical health, greater resilience to stress, and even longer lifespans. In contrast, toxic relationships can be a significant source of stress and have a negative impact on mental and physical health over time. For Mark, recognizing the importance of this balance has been crucial in shaping his own personal and professional life. Once we've identified the supportive relationships in our lives, the next step is to nurture them. One powerful way to deepen our connections is by practicing active listening. This means giving our full attention to the other person, truly hearing not just their words, but also the emotions and intentions behind them. Mark has found that by listening actively, he's able to create a space where the other person feels heard and understood, strengthening the connection between them. Another crucial aspect of deepening relationships is expressing appreciation and gratitude. Too often, we take the people in our lives for granted, assuming they know how much we value them. Mark knows that expressing gratitude, whether through a simple thank you, a kind word, or acknowledging something specific we appreciate, can go a long way in nurturing relationships. When we consistently show appreciation, we create a cycle of positivity and connection that strengthens our bonds. Setting healthy boundaries is also key. Boundaries define where we end and others begin, helping maintain our sense of self within relationships. Mark has learned that clear boundaries are vital for ensuring that interactions remain respectful and mutually beneficial. Communicating needs, preferences, and limits, whether it's asking for advanced notice for plans or setting work-life boundaries, is an essential part of fostering authentic connections. Respecting others' boundaries is just as important as setting our own. This involves being mindful of the verbal and nonverbal cues others give us about their comfort levels and adjusting our behavior accordingly. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in maintaining a large number of shallow relationships. But Mark has found that minimizing these superficial interactions and focusing on deepening the relationships that matter most has been incredibly rewarding. It's not about isolating oneself, but about making room for the connections that truly nourish us. By choosing quality over quantity, we open ourselves up to deeper conversations, shared experiences, and meaningful connections that enrich our lives. As we focus on deepening meaningful relationships, we naturally build a smaller, more supportive network around us. This network may be smaller than what we were used to, but it will be composed of people who truly align with our values and contribute positively to our lives. Mark has experienced how this process can lead to richer, more fulfilling relationships. Finding like-minded individuals might involve exploring shared interests, joining communities, or simply being open to new connections that resonate with our core values. Once we've identified the right people, nurturing these relationships becomes our priority. It's about consistently showing up for those who matter, not just during celebrations, but in moments of struggle too. It's about offering support, sharing experiences, and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable and authentic. Mark recommends engaging in a relationship assessment exercise. Reflect on your current relationships. Which ones energize you? Which ones drain your energy? Are there relationships you'd like to strengthen or new ones you'd like to build? Another useful exercise is to practice improving your communication skills. Active listening, paying attention to your body language, expressing gratitude, and setting boundaries all require practice. But, as Mark has discovered, improving these skills leads to stronger, more meaningful connections. As you implement these strategies, you may begin to notice positive changes. You'll likely develop a better understanding of your relationships and your own needs within them. With time and practice, you'll experience deeper connections, more fulfilling conversations, and a greater sense of support and belonging. Ultimately, the goal is to build a supportive network of individuals who inspire you support you, and challenge you to grow. Imagine navigating life's ups and downs with a group of people who truly have your back. This is the power of meaningful relationships. For Mark, this network has been a key source of strength and growth. However, the journey of cultivating meaningful relationships is not without its challenges. Resistance from others may arise as you set boundaries or shift your focus to deeper connections. Some may be uncomfortable with these changes. The solution is to communicate openly about your intentions and the positive shifts you're making in your life. Some relationships may naturally fade, and that's okay. Making space for meaningful connections sometimes requires letting go of relationships that no longer serve you. Another challenge Mark has faced is difficulty in asserting boundaries. This can be tough, especially if you're not accustomed to expressing your needs. If this resonates with you, consider seeking guidance from a trusted friend, therapist, or coach. Practice small steps in assertiveness to build confidence. Lastly, as you focus on quality over quantity, you may feel some isolation as you transition from a wide social circle to a more selective one. This is a normal part of the process. To overcome this, proactively seek out relationships that align with your values. Join communities, volunteer, or reach out to people you'd like to connect with. Reflect on your relationships. Picture yourself surrounded by a smaller, deeply supportive network of individuals who understand and value you. Mark's journey has shown him that cultivating meaningful relationships isn't about accumulating the most connections. It's about nurturing authentic bonds that bring joy and help you grow. The focus should always be on quality, not quantity, depth over breadth. As you move forward, ask yourself, how can you continue nurturing these relationships? How can they help you grow? Most importantly, how can you stay true to yourself as you deepen your connections with others? These are the guiding questions that will lead you to a richer, more fulfilling life. Chapter 6. Financial Simplicity. Mark Zuckerberg explores an idea that many find intimidating but essential: financial simplicity. As we continue our journey toward a more meaningful and purposeful life, we've already simplified many aspects: our physical spaces, our time, and our relationships. But what about money? Money, after all, can trigger stress, anxiety, and even feelings of insecurity for many. Some view it as a constant worry, while others use it as a yardstick for success. But what if money didn't have to be complicated? What if we could reshape our relationship with it, making it simpler, more intentional, and ultimately more fulfilling? The idea of financial simplicity might sound odd at first. Money is complex, right? With countless accounts, investments, and financial products, how could anyone simplify it? But here's the twist. Financial simplicity isn't about ignoring the complexities of the financial world. It's about shifting how we think about money, moving toward a mindset of mindfulness, intentionality, and alignment with our core values. Mark Zuckerberg encourages us to think about our relationship with money. Do you feel in control of it? Or does it control you? Do your spending habits reflect what truly matters to you? Or are you buying things that don't bring lasting happiness? Financial simplicity is about aligning your money with your values, ensuring that your financial decisions support the life you want to live. Simplifying your finances isn't just about feeling less stressed. It also creates opportunities for security and freedom. When you know exactly where your money is going, and when you're deliberate about how you use it, you're better equipped to handle unexpected expenses. More importantly, you can invest in things that matter most to you: experiences, causes, or a secure future for yourself and your loved ones. Financial simplicity clears the path to prioritize what really counts. The first step is understanding your financial values. This goes deeper than just knowing how much money you have or want to have. It's about reflecting on the role money plays in your life and how it can serve your broader life goals. Does traveling bring you joy? Are you passionate about supporting certain causes? Whatever it is, your answers can guide your financial decisions. This alignment between spending and values is the essence of financial simplicity. It's about intentional spending, making sure your money supports your desired lifestyle. Mark Zuckerberg emphasizes the importance of distinguishing between wealth and richness. Wealth is often seen as the accumulation of money and assets. But richness is about the quality of your life experiences. Financial simplicity is focused on creating richness, not more things, but a life filled with meaningful experiences that bring joy. Once we understand our financial values, it's time to create a mindful budget. Not a restrictive one, but one that brings clarity. The goal is to see where your money is going and ensure it aligns with what you value most. Begin by tracking every penny that comes in and goes out for a month or two. It might feel tedious, but it's essential to gain insight into your financial habits. Once you have the data, you'll likely spot areas where your spending doesn't reflect your true priorities. Those are the places to trim. A key part of financial simplicity is reducing unnecessary expenses. This often means cutting back on impulse buys, those things we grab on a whim but end up unused or forgotten. Mark Zuckerberg suggests a simple but effective strategy. Implement a waiting period before non-essential purchases. Wait 24 hours, or even a week. Often, the urge to buy fades, saving both money and mental clutter. Subscriptions are another area where many people waste money without realizing it. In today's digital world, we often sign up for services and forget about them, letting them pile up. Review your subscriptions and ask yourself if each one is truly adding value to your life. By cutting out unnecessary expenses, you create more room for saving and investing in things that truly matter. This brings us to setting financial goals. These goals should reflect your life's aspirations. Do you want to save for travel, build an emergency fund, or work toward financial independence? And here's a key idea. Prioritize experiences over possessions. Studies show that experiences often bring more lasting happiness than material things. That doesn't mean never buying anything physical, but it encourages being intentional about the possessions you choose to invest in. Living below your means is another cornerstone of financial simplicity. It doesn't mean depriving yourself, it means finding fulfillment within your current means while also setting aside resources for the future. Mark Zuckerberg believes that embracing frugality can be empowering. Instead of feeling restricted, you can enjoy life without overspending. This might include finding free or low-cost activities in your community, appreciating simple pleasures, or enjoying experiences that don't come with a high price tag. Living below your means also builds long-term security. By spending less than you earn and saving the difference, you create a cushion that can protect you from financial stress and open up more opportunities down the road. To put these concepts into practice, Mark Zuckerberg suggests starting with an expense tracking worksheet. Record every expense for a month, categorize them, and total them up at the end. This simple exercise will likely reveal patterns that you hadn't noticed before. Once you have that data, use it to create a budget that reflects your values and priorities. And remember, a budget isn't set in stone. It should evolve as your circumstances and goals change. With time, you'll begin to notice positive shifts. Your awareness of where your money goes will improve. You'll see how your spending aligns, or doesn't, with your values. And as you reduce unnecessary expenses, you'll feel more in control, more empowered in your financial life. The ultimate goal of financial simplicity is to achieve a sense of financial independence and peace of mind. It's not about being wealthy in the traditional sense, but about reaching a point where money no longer causes stress or anxiety. It's about having enough to support the lifestyle you desire while feeling secure about your future. Mark Zuckerberg acknowledges that the road to financial simplicity isn't without challenges. Sticking to a budget can be tough, especially at the start. But perfection isn't the goal. The key is to review and adjust your budget as needed, making it work for you. The temptation to overspend is another hurdle, especially with clever marketing and social pressure. Again, a waiting period before purchases can help, and finding an accountability partner can offer support. Unexpected expenses will inevitably arise, and this is why building an emergency fund is crucial. By setting aside money for the unexpected, you can navigate financial challenges without derailing your long-term goals. So, as we wrap up this chapter, take a moment to imagine a life with simpler finances. Picture yourself moving through your days without the weight of financial worry, making purchases that align with your values, and feeling secure about your financial future. Financial simplicity isn't about depriving yourself. It's about using money as a tool to create the life you truly want to live. And as you continue on this journey toward a more meaningful life, you might find yourself asking, what's next? We've explored simplifying space, time, relationships, and finances. But there's another area of life with incredible potential for growth and impact. In the next chapter, Mark Zuckerberg invites you to explore how the power of less can amplify your ability to achieve what truly matters. Ready to dive in? Chapter 7. Focused Goals. Mark Zuckerberg reflects on how to live a more meaningful life. By focusing on what truly matters, we've already simplified many aspects of our lives, decluttering our spaces, managing our time better, strengthening relationships, and making our finances more manageable. But there's one area that's often left tangled: our ambitions and goals. In a world filled with endless messages about what we should achieve, it's easy to lose track of what really matters. The question is, what if the key to fulfillment lies not in doing more, but in doing less? More intentionally? At first, the idea of focusing on fewer goals might seem counterproductive. Isn't it all about dreaming big and chasing multiple passions? But Mark argues that focusing doesn't mean limiting your dreams. It's about being clearer and more committed to what truly matters. Take a moment to think. How many goals are you juggling right now? Are they aligned with your deepest values and long-term vision? Or do you feel drained, trying to keep up with everything? Focused goals are about giving your full attention and energy to the things that will truly make a difference in your life. It's simple math. If you spread yourself too thin, nothing gets the attention it deserves. But by narrowing your focus to a select few goals, you dramatically increase your chances of success. Not only does this reduce stress, but it also brings greater satisfaction and personal growth. Think about it. When you're fully committed to a goal, you experience deeper learning and achievement than when you're constantly distracted by multiple objectives. The problem with chasing too many goals is that it leads to something called analysis paralysis. We're all familiar with the feeling of being overwhelmed by too many options, right? When we try to pursue everything, we end up making no real progress. Plus, the constant switching between goals can lead to burnout, leaving us drained physically and mentally. In the end, spreading yourself thin means your impact is diluted. You're likely making little progress in many areas instead of making significant strides in one. So how do you start focusing your goals? First, Mark suggests a deep dive into self-reflection. List your current goals and ask yourself tough questions. Which ones align most with your values? Which will have the greatest impact on your life? Which ones excite and energize you? Using the SMART framework, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, can help ensure your goals are clear and realistic. For example, instead of just saying, "I want to get fit," make it a SMART goal. I will run a 5K under 30 minutes in the next 6 months. Now, that's specific, measurable, and achievable. Once you've identified your core goals, create an action plan. Break them down into manageable steps. Big goals can feel daunting, but when you break them into smaller tasks, they become much more achievable. For each goal, identify the key milestones. Then break those down further into daily or weekly actions. Deadlines are essential here too. They create urgency and keep you on track. But be realistic. Don't set yourself up for failure with overly ambitious deadlines. Staying focused and motivated can be challenging, especially when you're in the thick of it. One strategy Mark swears by is creating an environment that supports your goals. This could mean setting up your workspace to minimize distractions or using apps that help track your progress. Celebrate each small win. Recognize the progress you've made, no matter how minor it seems. This keeps you motivated and reinforces the actions that lead to success. But let's be real. Goals aren't always static. Life changes, and so do your priorities. Being flexible with your goals isn't a sign of failure. It's about adaptability and wisdom. Mark encourages regularly checking in on your progress. Are your goals still aligned with your values? If not, don't be afraid to adjust. It's not about abandoning your dreams. It's about making sure they still resonate with who you are and where you want to go. Want to make these ideas a reality? Start by prioritizing your goals. A simple worksheet can help you evaluate each goal's alignment with your core values, its potential impact, and how excited you are about pursuing it. This can help you narrow down your focus. Mark also recommends setting aside time each week to review your goals, celebrate progress, and plan for the upcoming week. With these strategies, you'll likely notice positive changes. You'll gain a clearer focus and a stronger understanding of what you're working toward. And as you focus on fewer, more meaningful goals, you'll make real, lasting progress. The result? The realization of your biggest life aspirations. When you dedicate your energy to what truly matters, you create the best possible chance to achieve those big, life-changing goals. But, of course, the journey won't always be smooth. Mark admits that staying motivated, especially when facing setbacks, can be tough. If you lose your drive, try reconnecting with your why. Visualize how reaching your goal will improve your life. Sometimes, simply remembering your purpose can reignite your passion. Another hurdle is the constant barrage of distractions in today's world. Mark suggests strategies like time blocking, creating a distraction-free workspace, or using apps that limit your social media time during focused work sessions. Finally, don't forget the temptation to overcommit. New opportunities pop up, and it's easy to want to chase them all. This is why regular reassessments are crucial. Keep asking yourself, are these new commitments aligned with my focus goals? If not, it might be time to say no and let them go. By focusing on a few select, meaningful goals, you'll increase your chances of achieving what matters most. And in the end, that's the real key to success and fulfillment. Chapter 8. Embracing Freedom. Mark Zuckerberg often reflects on the invisible chains that hold people back from reaching their full potential. These aren't physical chains, but societal expectations, pressure to conform, the relentless pursuit of goals dictated by others, and the constant need to keep up. For Mark, breaking free from these constraints has been a journey. He often wonders, what if true freedom is just within our grasp? What if we could shed these invisible chains and live authentically? Freedom is a powerful concept. We all crave it. But often, the freedom we seek is external. The freedom to travel, to do what we want, or to live on our own terms. But there's a deeper, more profound freedom that is often overlooked. The freedom to be ourselves, free from others' expectations and the limitations we place on ourselves. Minimalism is one way to unlock that deeper freedom. It's not just about clearing your closet or reducing physical possessions. For Mark, minimalism is a mindset. It's about focusing on what truly matters, shedding distractions, and aligning your life with your authentic values. This kind of freedom isn't about doing less, it's about being more of who you truly are. When Mark embraced minimalism in his own life, he noticed something powerful. As he began aligning his actions with his values, he found a deeper sense of fulfillment. There's a sense of peace that comes from no longer chasing someone else's version of success. The freedom to be yourself brings clarity. It reduces the mental clutter that comes from trying to meet external expectations and instead creates space to focus on what truly brings joy. But this journey towards authentic living isn't always easy. it's easy to fall into the trap of societal pressures, the expectations about career, relationships, and material success. Mark often reflects on how ingrained these expectations are. So, how do we break free from them? The first step is to recognize the expectations that have been imposed on us. Are there areas of your life where you're living according to someone else's script? Are you chasing goals that don't truly resonate with who you are? Recognizing these pressures is the key to unlocking true freedom. Once we become aware of those pressures, we need to define success on our own terms. What does success really look like to you? For some, it may be wealth or status, but for others, it could be creating meaningful experiences or making a positive impact on the world. Success is personal. It's up to you to decide what matters most. Mark knows that once you begin to let go of external expectations, fear and guilt are often the next challenges. The fear of missing out can be especially tough. We worry that by choosing our own path, we might miss opportunities others seem to value. But the truth is, by focusing on what matters to us, we're not missing out. We're prioritizing. And guilt, saying no to obligations and pressures that don't align with your values, can feel like an obstacle. But Mark believes that saying no to things that don't serve you is actually saying yes to what does. It's about creating space in your life for what truly matters. Living authentically isn't just about external actions. It's about aligning your inner world with your outer choices. It means being true to yourself, even when it's hard, even when it goes against the grain. Mark himself knows this well. In the face of criticism or judgment, it's important to remember that others' reactions are often more about their own fears and insecurities. So, why try to explain or justify your choices? Let your life speak for itself. Building resilience and confidence in your choices is crucial. Mark often talks about how trusting your instincts, even when they're not popular, is key. Minimalism, for him, has provided incredible liberation, not just in the physical sense, but mentally too. It has given him more time, energy, and clarity to focus on what really matters. Imagine a future where your life feels simpler and more aligned with who you truly are. Picture yourself waking up with purpose, free from the pressures and distractions that once felt all-consuming. What if your work reflected your true values? What if your relationships were built on authenticity? That's the kind of freedom Mark believes is possible. To embrace this freedom, practices like mindfulness and self-reflection are powerful tools. Taking time to meditate, journal, or simply reflect can help you stay aligned with your authentic self. Affirmations, too, can reinforce your commitment to living with intention. The more you commit to this journey, the more clarity and confidence you'll gain. But the path to freedom isn't without its challenges. Fear of rejection, doubts about our choices, and the temptation to fall back into old patterns are part of the process. Mark suggests surrounding yourself with a supportive community, regularly checking in with yourself, and practicing self-compassion along the way. Remember, living authentically is a journey, not a destination. So, what does freedom mean to you? For Mark, embracing freedom through minimalism is about creating space for what matters most, living with intention, and being brave enough to live authentically in a world that often values conformity. In the next chapter, he explores how unlocking this freedom can bring greater meaning to every moment. Are you ready to embrace it? Chapter 9. Intentional Living. As we reach the final chapter, Mark Zuckerberg reflects on a powerful realization. Living with intention can revolutionize everything. Throughout this book, we've explored the life-changing practices of minimalism and simplification, from decluttering physical spaces to focusing on personal goals. Now, it's time to combine these elements into one cohesive strategy that has the potential to transform your entire existence. But what exactly does intentional living mean? It's more than just a trend or set of practices. It's a way of being that fills every moment with purpose. It's about consciously making choices that align with your deepest values and goals, rather than letting life pass by on autopilot. Looking back on everything you've learned so far, it's clear that each principle in this book plays a crucial role. But the magic happens when these tools are integrated into a whole, a way of living that aligns all parts of your life. By applying minimalism to your physical space, you've made room for what truly matters. By simplifying your time management, you've reclaimed precious hours for the things that matter most. Cultivating meaningful relationships has enriched your social life. Financial simplicity has eased stress, aligning your resources with your values. Focusing on your goals has clarified your path, and embracing freedom has freed you from unnecessary constraints. Now, picture what happens when all these elements come together. This is the heart of intentional living. Every part of your life, your environment, time, relationships, finances, goals, and personal freedom works in harmony to support your authentic self and your deepest desires. What's the result? True empowerment. You're no longer a victim of clutter, time pressure, or financial stress. Instead, you're in the driver's seat, making conscious choices about what you prioritize and how you want to live. The clarity and sense of purpose that come with intentional living are unmatched. When everything aligns with your core values, life takes on a new level of coherence. Each day begins with a clear understanding of what truly matters and how you want to invest your energy. And here's one of the most beautiful aspects of intentional living: its positive impact on relationships. As you become more authentic, purposeful, and aligned with your values, you naturally form deeper, more meaningful connections. You'll have more time and energy to nurture relationships that matter, leading to more fulfilling interactions. Moreover, as you embrace this lifestyle, you'll attract a community of like-minded individuals who share your values and support your journey. This network can provide the encouragement and inspiration you need to keep moving forward. As your life becomes more integrated, both personal and professional goals that once seemed overwhelming start to feel achievable. The energy and resources you've focused will make your progress more efficient and fulfilling. But the beauty of intentional living isn't just in ticking off goals. It's about experiencing joy in the journey itself. When you live in alignment with your true self, every moment is infused with meaning. Even the ordinary moments become extraordinary. As you continue applying the principles shared in this book, you'll notice that results come with less effort. Positive choices create a ripple effect, reinforcing each other and leading to an upward spiral. Decluttering, prioritizing time, strengthening relationships, and pursuing your goals all work together, amplifying your results in ways that surprise and inspire you. How can you make this work every day? Establish daily practices that support intentional living, whether it's a morning routine, regular decluttering, or reflecting on your day to ensure your actions are aligned with your values. Mindfulness is another powerful tool to help you stay focused and present in everything you do. Of course, it won't always be easy. You may face resistance from others, or moments of self-doubt may arise. But, as Mark Zuckerberg would advise, expect challenges and be prepared to face them. Intentional living is a journey, not a destination. Stay committed, reassess when necessary, and be kind to yourself. Your transformation will naturally inspire those around you. People will notice the peace, clarity, and authenticity you radiate, sparking curiosity about how you've achieved it. This is your chance to lead by example and share your intentional living practices with others. As we conclude, it's time for you to take action. Choose one area of your life where you can apply more intention. Maybe it's decluttering, reevaluating your commitments, or having a meaningful conversation. The goal isn't massive achievements, but aligning your life with your core values and dreams. By embracing intentional living, you're not just changing what you do, but how you experience every single moment. You're creating a life of clarity, purpose, and fulfillment. Remember, living with less isn't about deprivation, but making space for what truly matters. So, as you step into this new phase of life, know that the power to create something meaningful is within you. Take the first step today and watch your life transform into one of purpose, joy, and deep fulfillment.